It's Fans Corner. Welcome to it, and thank you for making time for us. We are back in the Betway Premiership. We've just watched Marumo Gallants against Orlando Pirates down at the Dr Petrus Molemela Stadium in Bloemfontein or Mangaung in the Free State Province, and that game ending in 2-1 in favor of the home team, that's Marumo Gallants, and leading Pirates to a second defeat in 2 games. In a space of a couple of days, and Pirates have dropped 6 points in a season where we expect them to challenge for the league the way we did expect them to challenge for the league last season. And it's very unfortunate for Orlando Pirates, especially in the context of the fact that Mamelodi Sundowns won their game against Amazulu at Loftus. I tried watching both games, and unfortunately it's too much to watch 2 games at the same time, so I decided to stick with the Pirates game because it was more, I felt it was more entertaining, and I also preferred the crowd at the Dr Petrus Molemela Stadium. I have to say, before we even get into the game, big ups to the people in Bloemfontein, Mangaung, or the surrounding areas who still made time to go to this game, given the game, the massive game that they attended and the turnout that they pulled in the game, in the Suwelele game against Golden Arrows on Saturday night. So I expected the stadium not to be as packed as it was today, but they still stick it through. The Free State people, despite the weather, despite the time of the day, despite the time of the week, they still made time to go to the stadium. Shout out to you. I have nothing but respect for you for taking your time to go to the stadium. Getting back into the game, I honestly have to give credit to Marumo Gallants for being able to play football, you know, especially playing against one of the so-called big teams. They could have easily been intimidated and tried to, you know, just play for a draw or just play not to lose or apply a low block. But they played football. I was worried about them, I have to say, in the beginning of the game. Actually, in the first half, I was a little bit worried about them because I felt they were running too much with the ball. I felt they were not releasing the ball on time. They were releasing the ball a little bit late, allowing Pirates to fall back, allowing when they had the ball, allowing Pirates to reposition themselves, and sometimes even inviting unnecessary pressure from Pirates, by holding on to the ball, keeping the ball in one place, and allowing Pirates to press them. So I felt in the first half, and I thought they'll probably get tired because running with the ball can be very tedious. Because they did the same thing even in the second half. They don't really release the ball too early, Marumo Gallants. Sometimes much to your frustration if you are a supporter, I would imagine. But they stuck it through, and they were able to get the win and 3 points, and inflicting Pirates a very painful loss, which means Pirates have not won a league game in the new season, having played 2 games, losing both games. And unnecessary pressure on the newly appointed coach, Abdusalam. You know, I don't understand the coach because, honestly speaking, having watched the game, I'm trying to check here. I'll confirm. The game they played against Polokwane City, if you look at the lineup that they applied on the day, it's a little bit different. I mean, it's a different lineup. And even in the game against Skukuna United, I felt, yeah, I honestly don't understand. Pirates is not a bad team. Pirates have been a good team. Pirates did not have a bad season last season. They just came across. Let's talk about in the context of the league. They just had to compete against a very powerful Mamelodi Sundowns. They gave it their best. They achieved their best points tally in a 16-team league, joint highest tally, that is. So, and then outside the league, they still made it to the semi-finals of the Champions League. They still made it to the Nedbank Cup finals. They won the MTN 8. So they were not a bad team, so they don't need too many changes, you know. I know there are players that left, the likes of Nkota, but Pirates did not lose a lot of players for you to actually make so many, to change the face of the team, because it looks different from the Pirates of last season. I understand Coach Abdusalam will probably want to play his own kind of football. He probably wants his own Orlando Pirates, his own identity. I understand all of that, but you don't do that abruptly. You kind of take it one step at a time. You know, you make those 2 changes from last year's starting 11. You make 2 changes here and there, but the manner in which it was done, I think it's a little bit haphazard, and to a certain extent it destabilizes Orlando Pirates, and we've seen in the past 2 games. Because in the first game I thought they did pretty well. The game they played against Polokwane City in the MTN8, I even said they really look solid. And then now you have one of their star players starting from the bench, and that I don't understand why. I mean, you've got Apolis and Mufokeng. Play both of them at the same time. Give the opponents something to think about. They know they have to deal with both sides at the same time. Because today they knew they didn't really have to spend too much time on the right hand side. Apolis was more on the left hand side, so they applied the pressure on the left hand side, and making sure that they suffocate him. He didn't have the best of games. Apolis, we know, he's capable of much better than that. On the other side, there's Muremi, so they didn't really have to worry too much about those players. You know, when you make those kinds of changes, even the opponents, they look at you and they don't feel as threatened as they would have been if they saw the experienced players of Pirates who carried the team for the whole of last season. I've got nothing against Radio Pane. I think today he actually had a very good game, but I think starting an Evidence Mahopa there, Evidence Mahopa, you know, is definitely a threat, even if it doesn't score goals. I said this last time. Even if it does not score goals, I feel like he's a threat. He makes your flanks play better. He actually holds his hold up of the game is pretty good, allowing your flanks to get into much more threatening positions. So I don't know. I feel like the coach has actually invited unnecessary pressure on himself, because now going into the Sundowns game, if he loses that game, then it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. The Pirates fans are not going to take this one lying down. They are restless. They will be restless. Even tonight in the game, at the end of the game there in Mangaung, you could already feel the rowdy fans of Orlando Pirates actually chanting at the end of the game. You could tell that they're not happy. Obviously, no supporter will be happy with losing a game of football. You know, before the beginning of the game, I felt, looking at the starting 11, it did not look like a starting 11 that is going to win a game. Honestly speaking, I looked at it not from an analytic point of view, but just from the names that you see on the starting 11. Imagine, as a fan, you look at that and you think to yourself, this does not look like a team that can really it's going to be really give it a tough time to Marumo Gallants. Marumo Gallants themselves, as the opponents, they'll probably look at that and feel more confident and say, actually, we can get a point out of this, or we can even we can pull a win out of this game. And they did exactly that. You don't want your opponents to feel confident going into the game. You want them to feel intimidated. Even if they're playing at home, you want them to feel intimidated. And I feel like Coach Abdusalam Ouaddou did not read this one proper. I think the look of this Orlando Pirates, the starting 11 alone, let alone the starting 11 alone, just did not look convincing that it's a team that's going to win. This is no offense to any of the players, but we saw the Pirates that played last season. I think like the changes that are being made right now in the starting 11 are too abrupt for Orlando Pirates. You allow your new team, you build it one step at a time, not the way. I don't feel like this way is the right way, because they will lose very important points, and by the time they start gelling Orlando Pirates, it will be too late. They would have already lost too many points if they want to actually challenge for the league. I think the game now on Saturday, the game at the Orlando Stadium on Sunday. It's on Sunday, right? The first leg of the MTN8 is going to be very crucial for Orlando Pirates, and they have got to get a result from that in order to make sure that they remain calm. The fans are also confident going forward, and the team itself is not panicking, because if they lose that and then they still have to go to Pretoria to play the second leg, it's going to be a very, very tough time for Orlando Pirates, and it's also going to affect them in the league as well. Okay, otherwise, thank you so much for your time. This has been Fans Corner I did watch the Mamelodi Sundowns game a little bit. I saw people slipping, you know, sliding and slipping because of the very wet surface it would look. And I felt, nah, I don't want to watch this game. Let me rather watch the Orlando Pirates game. So I stuck to the Orlando Pirates game. And unfortunately, I'm not going to do a video with the Sundowns game. I didn't see enough of it. I know they won. Congratulations to Mamelodi Sundowns. And also congratulations to Marumo Gallants tonight. This has been Fans Corner. Thank you for making time for us again. Remember to subscribe. Follow us on our socials so that we can do better. And also continue doing this here on Fans Corner. We meet again in the next one.